Hello, this is Aaron from AaronOnAutos.com, and today we're going to do a shaky cam interior review inside a 2019 BMW Z4. Yeah, this is fun. BMW labels themselves as making the ultimate driving machine, and this may be where they have accomplished that. They definitely had that motto in mind while building this car. It's not super fast. It's not gonna, take checkered flags. It's not made for that. That's not what it's for. This is a great vehicle. The problem is I can't say certain keywords or the infotainment goes off like it just did. I believe you can change that. I have no idea. I haven't actually tried. But regardless, I'll just avoid saying the three-letter name of the company, and I'll go with like Bimmer. Anyway, I'm gonna grab the spec sheet because this thing, it has a very specific name. This is the Z4 S-Drive 30i. Listed, it's about $63, almost $64,000. And that's in this particular fully loaded blah 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 setup. 28 mpg overall. You probably will get that. It's a great turbocharged engine. Beautiful. I can't say enough about this car. For two-seat convertibles, this is the bomb. All right, so let's just get started because there is a lot going on in this car and it is getting hot outside, so I'm starting to die. I may put the top down during this. Okay, starting over here, you have the usual two windows. Here's the mirrors up here, door locks there, seat memory over there. The seats do have adjustability, more than you might expect for a car this size. So really cool. Over here you have some lighting controls. So you can see here you have your these are your puddle lights. Here's your interior or your mark lights. That turns them off. That turns on auto. That drops the lights, as courtesy. Over here is the dimmer. You can see it's for the instruments. It is not for the headlamps. Down here you got a little cubby right here. I see these in a lot of cars, and I have no clue what you're supposed to do with them. I guess you could throw like the garage door opener in there if you don't want to program the garage doors. You could, I don't know, throw some like change, extra keys, I don't know. Down there is the hood latch release. Let me point the camera at it. That's a good idea. You have to pull it twice, like most BMWs. So first pull pops it up, second pull pops the latch, and then you can just lift the hood. You don't have to reach under and find a release. Here's a dead pedal, nicely done. I did drive it wearing these. I don't normally do that, but in a sports car, I like to drive barefoot, so flip-flops are the way to go. Over here, you can see the rest of the pedals. Now, looking at the steering wheel, this is a M-Series style steering wheel, so you see the M down there. Really nicely done. You can get a sport wheel, I believe, that has the cropped bottom and so on. You might need that. I don't know. I am 6'3", had no problem getting in and out of this car, other than old person knees. Other than that, this is a easy car to get in and out of. And you can see I have tons of headroom in this. So this is the seat just sitting here, normal driving position right here. I have tons of headroom on this soft top, and it's a beautiful soft top, very quiet, surprisingly so, with the top up. So looking at the steering wheel here, over here you see there's cruise control. Most of it's pretty clear. You turn it on and off, set, resume, cancel. You set distances using this thing. And then over here is the speed limiter, kind of a European thing. The German cars like to put the German and British cars like to use them. Basically you set the dimmer, or you set a speed that you don't want the car to go over, and then without canceling that, it won't go over that. Over here is the infotainment and driver information screen controls, depending on exactly what you're attempting to do. Here you have voice control. You can also voice activate. I'll show you that. You just have to say the right word. Telematics here. This is your menu system, so you push that. you get the menu up there. Volume, and these go back and forth, and this goes up and down. Pretty simple. You also push this to select. Pretty simple, not that hard to understand, quickly intuitive once you use it. I like this a lot because I don't really like that. So there you go. But most of the time you have to use that because most infotainment is there. About the only thing you can control here is music. Kind of lame. Anyway, first of the paddle shifters, and then right here is windshield washer. So you see if I put it there, it's on auto, and the auto illuminates, and then you have low, high, etc., and then just popping it down does the one off, and then you can see squirters, you pull it towards you. Over here you have a bunch of stuff. So you can control blind spot management, you can turn your high beams on and off through, you set automatic that way, and then you can high beams on and off back and forth. So you pull it back for just a quick, and you push it forward for permanent, and you will have a light illuminate that didn't illuminate because I don't actually have the lights on because they're on auto mode. And the other paddle shifter. So that's it for the steering wheel, which I will point out is a great sport steering wheel. I like big meaty steering wheels, and this is thin up top, but it's nice and meaty right here where I'm normally holding it anyway. So I get a good feel out of this steering wheel. I like that. I got big meat hook hands. All right, instrument cluster. I definitely need to put the top down on this thing. It'll probably screw up the sound quality. Video problems. Okay, so right here we're looking at the instrument cluster. Over here you see the tachometer. Over there you see the speedometer. There is a setting in there to change this to Canuck miles per hour if you prefer. You can see that can be changed right there. Over here you can see miles per gallon, and there's your average. So that's what I've been averaging, mostly driving around town. I haven't put a lot of highway time on this other than my highway mileage and sound test, just because I wanted to make sure that the soft top was good for highway driving, and it is very good, surprisingly good. So there you go. And then over here you can see fuel, and over here you see engine temperature. You can see the start stop is shut off. That is because I have it in sport mode. I will put it in eco mode, and you'll see that turns on, and then you'll see how things change. I'll show you how to change the configurations. You have Sport, Comfort, Eco Pro, and Adaptive, and then you also have an Auto High or Auto H. That's a toggle, and again, I'll show that to you in a little bit. But all of these are for different styles of driving. So when I was on the highway, Comfort mode was really good. Eco Pro is also good, but it kills the throttle a lot. So if you don't want to lose your throttle response, don't use that. But Comfort mode is a good highway cruising mode, and Sport mode is very good. So you see when I'm in Sport, looks like that. Comfort looks like that, which is, it turns out that's what it was in. This is the default. And then Eco Pro, and going down to Adaptive. This predicts the adjustments and sets the car accordingly. It sort of defaults to Comfort with some Sport mode if you kind of shove the pedals. So if you get really aggressive with the throttle, then it will basically run in Sport mode from there. But it goes back and forth and changes around and keeps up, and then you can see the Auto H is toggled, and then I turned it off. Electronic parking brake and a few other things, and then you'll see these menus. So you can go down. Right now it's controlling the infotainment for sound. So that's it for the instrument cluster. Moving along, here's the infotainment. So nice big screen, very clear. So you have a control knob down here, and then you also have controls over here. Again, the controls over there are mostly just for audio, but you can use this for everything else. So right now we're on this home screen right here. You can change that a little bit. So mostly you can just change what shows right there. You can also go to, like, there's the maps. Nav looks mostly the same. You can go to media if you want to stream. So right now I'm technically streaming, I guess, through satellite radio. And then you can go to, these are the main menus. So I'm using that button right there. You end up here. And then, like most BMWs, here's your back, here's options, so you can change whatever options. And then this is a write pad. So if you're in navigation, you can write each letter of an address or whatever and have it input. Very, very cool. Now, here's what's really cool this year, starting, this is the first BMW I've been in that has it. How's that? Hey, BMW.
Hello, what can I help you with?
What station is the radio on?
You are listening to channel CBC Radio 1.
How cool is that? So you can ask it all kinds of questions, and you can prompt it to do things. You can jump to any radio preset. You can do so, like, hey BMW, change channel to Sirius XM 41.
You are listening to channel 41.
How cool is that? So you could do all kinds of stuff. You can make phone calls that way. You can do all kinds of things. No button touching. Really, really cool. Mercedes has a similar system with the MBUX, the new version, but I really like it in here. And then you can also connect this to like Amazon. So if you have an Alexa device, you can connect it to the car, and then you can have it, say, turn on the porch light when you pull up to the house, some stuff like that, whatever you've got. Really, really cool. I really like this infotainment. I'm not a big fan of these command controllers. So, you know, when you go to the menus and you're paging through, they are pretty intuitive. I just don't like using them because it just seems like more work than it should be. That's kind of the way I want to put it. I prefer just touching the screen. It's way easier. Coming down here, here's your radars, here's your Dukes lights, here's some vents. Here's a whole bunch of climate controls. Most of them should be straightforward. You turn it all the way off using this button here. You put it on auto using that button right there. So you can see, and then it tells you what it's doing. Then you have your bun warmers on either side, and turn it back off. Down here you have some radio controls. So here are some preset buttons if you just want to be able to quickly do it. Jump tracks here, and volume, modes, etc. Again, these are also volume buttons. So there's that. I'll close this bougie cover so you can look at it. Really pretty. Really like that. And then underneath that is a wireless phone charger, 12-volt plug right here. With it, since it is a European car, it has a fake lighter plug in it, and a USB. This is the data port USB for this car. So there's that. Then coming this way, here's the shifter. You park by pushing that button. You push this button to move through the other gears. Pretty straightforward. Here's your start-stop button here. So you start up the engine, shut it off. Traction control right there. Parking radars right there. What is this? Oh, auto start stop right there. And then here's where I was doing those drive controls. So the different drive modes, and auto H toggle there. Here's the electronic parking brake. Works in the usual manner. Push it down to release them. Pull it up to set them. This does the top. So I'm going to show you the top operation because why not? It's convertible, and I'm sweating because it's hot. So I'll show you what it looks like in this screen, and I'll inlay some footage. You're seeing footage of what it looks like. Oh, it can't roll that window down. Shoot. All right, so I will not run the soft top because that camera right there, that window needs to roll down, and yeah, so sorry. Bummer. Anyway, I will show us, there's some inlay footage you're seeing now that shows the top going down and coming back up. Over here you have the armrest, right? And then it opens up in the usual space shuttle door fashion and opens up to this. Here's a little storage place. Here's your drink holders. Here's another USB. This is a high power USB, so it's a fast charge. Now here's something really cool I noticed. I'll show you a picture so you can see it in action. Put a coffee mug right here. You can still close this. Boom! That is genius. I'm so glad they thought of that because it makes it way more useful. So there you go. Really, really cool for that. Back here, there's some storage behind the seats. If I can get the camera, there you go. Storage behind the seats. You can see the little net to hold it in place. There is space behind the seats because there is a lot of adjustment available. And then in the back, this opens up. You could store things in there, and then you can also pop it open right here, and it becomes a pass-through into the trunk. Trunk's pretty good size. Here's some video of the trunk. It's a pretty good size considering, and that is a video of the trunk while the top is down. So that's how much space you have with the top folded. Pretty cool. And then just the overall structure of the car. Very pretty, nicely done. Here's my cheat sheet. Nicely done. I like this car a lot. I just really like it. Has a head-up display, a few other things. It's just well thought out as a two-seat convertible. It's you know, I've been in a lot of convertibles, and until you get into the luxury realm like you do with this car, you just don't see those little smart touches, the little conveniences that go along with the fact that it is a convertible. You know, can't say enough good things about this Bimmer right here, because it's just so smart. Really nicely done. Really enjoyed it. Had a great week as with my midlife crisis. It's required for a midlife crisis, right? You got to be a middle-aged guy. You got to be driving a red convertible. You got to have a blonde who's 20 years younger than you, and what else you got to have? Oh, you got to be wearing a hat because you're balding. So I don't really qualify as the full-on, right? I can tell myself that. It makes me not feel old. That's what I'm doing. Yeah. So anyway, that's what I got. This has been Aaron from AaronOnAutos.com in the 2019 BMW Z4 S-Drive 30i. Talk to you again soon. Subscribe.